I'm Corey Malcolm, and I'm the lead historian for the Florida Keys History Center, which is where we are right now. We're part of the Monroe County Library system, and our goal here is to preserve and share the history of Monroe County, Florida. The libraries in Key West go back to the 1830s. We see what was called a Sunday school library in 1835 here. In the 1850s, there was a Key West Library Association. It was a subscription library where people would pay an annual fee and then they could go to this room and check out books or sit there and read. That seems to have been destroyed in a fire in 1859. And really, though, the roots of our modern library system we can trace back to 1892, when the Key West Library Association was formally founded with a board and a librarian, and that was really the first sort of public library on the island. It was on Simonton Street, near where the Federal Building is today. It was called the Masonic Hall back then, a building that no longer exists. And that was there for at least 10 years or so. That was really the beginning. It was taken over eventually in the early 1900s by the Key West Women's Club. They then maintained the Key West Library. It bounced around in various locations, mostly along Duval Street in different buildings. But in 1941, it went to the current home of the Key West Women's Club at what I think 319 Duval, and was there for many years. In 1958, people in the community started thinking, gosh, we really need our own building and our own independent library. And a community group formed. They started advocating for that. They started raising money. And the momentum really got going towards developing an autonomous library in Key West. Later that year, the city agreed to fund some of it. The county agreed to fund some of it, and then land was donated. The owner of this lot, a man named Carl Thompson, decided that he would give property for the construction of the library. In 1958, construction began. During construction, the county actually agreed that, okay, we will take this on as a county entity. And so it then became the Monroe County Public Library, and construction was completed in 1959, and then in November of 1959 it was finished, ribbon was cut, and the doors were open, and the Key West Library was born.
My name is Jimmy Weekly, and I've lived on this block of Elizabeth Street for approximately 67, maybe 70 years. It was a Navy town, and it was great. The neighborhood here had a lot of kids. There were a lot of families. You could hop on your bike, go anywhere, no concerns about anything happening at all. It was a lot more family oriented, a lot more fun things to do. We didn't have all the electronics that they have today. We had to find things to entertain ourselves and with all the other kids in the neighborhood and everything, and it was always so much fun.
And what was at the corner there of Elizabeth and Simonton when you were a kid?
When there was a park there, the playground. There were two sections of it. Over where the parking lot is now for the library, there was that section there had swings and merry-go-rounds and sliding boards and seesaws and that type of thing. But it was entirely different community then.
Do you remember hearing that they were going to build a library in that park? That was your playground, right?
That was our playground, absolutely. And yes, I heard that. I remember my grandmother telling not only me, but my brothers and everything that, soon they were going to have the library there. Because the original library that I remember anyway was upstairs of the Women's Club. And so they were going to build a brand new library on that corner there.
And what did you think? Were you excited?
Not at all. You're taking away my playground. You're taking away where all the neighborhood kids would gather. You know, every summer we were out there constantly. You know, come rain or shine, we were playing. We had things to do. We were playing corkball. We were playing stickball. We were, you know, just having a great time. And there was a woman who kind of oversaw the park, and her name was Nellie Hendricks, and she would, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she would show up and she'd pull out different balls and board games and that type of thing for all the neighborhood kids to be able to play. And since then, as you may know, that building, that house, has moved over to Duval Street, which is now Bagatelle. Thank you.
I think you told me that you did a little sabotage trying to stop them from the
I was, you know, I remember coming home from school and looking over there at the park, and they had these stakes in the ground that was laying the footprint of the where the building was going to go. And there were still workers there because I'd just gotten home. And so I was like pretty upset that, oh, this is really going to happen. I see this happening. So after everyone left, I went over there and proceeded in pulling up all the stakes of the footprint, you know, and throwing them on the ground. And, I remember that the stakes all had string tied all the way around and everything like that. So I thought, well, gee, I've stopped it, right? Well, I stopped it for a day because the next day when I came home from school, everything was back up there. They did some other work. So I went over there again and pulled up the stakes again. And that evening when my mom and dad came home, I had 3 other brothers. So my dad says, can I talk to you a minute? I want to talk to you about something. I said, sure, what's up? He says, so what did you do today after school? And I said, I did my homework. And what else did you do? And I said, you know, probably played with my brothers. And he says, well, did you go over to where they're building the library? And I said, why? He says, because someone came in the store and said, Mr. Weekly, one of your children is coming over, picking up all the stakes that we lay around for the footprint of the building. Could you please ask them to stop? And so I don't know how he felt that I was the one that did it. I guess because he knew my oldest brother wouldn't do such a thing. Alton wouldn't have done anything like that. My younger brother was too young to do it. So I was the one. So I said, yes, sir, I did. He says, well, look, the reality is they're going to build it. So quit going over there and picking up, you know, pulling those stakes out. Let them build it. You know, there's other places you can go play, which was actually Harris School, and that's where we ended up having to go play when we wanted to in the afternoons. When the library first opened, of course, I was a little bit older, I went over there and asked if I could get a library card. And they told me, no, you cannot have a library card. And I said, why not? And the woman was somebody that knew the family, so they knew the story of me pulling her to Mrs. Otto. And she says, because you didn't want it here, so why should we give you a library card to enjoy it now? Of course, she was, you know, joking with me about it, but you know, so crime doesn't pay, I guess. It keeps you from getting a library card. I never went to the one at the Women's Club, but when this one opened, of course, I was a couple of years older, and I started having assignments from school where I had to go there for reference purposes, and I learned to use the little cards that we used to have to go through to find the books or the topics. It's one of the most important things we have here. It gives people the opportunity to be able to educate themselves on, you know, those that enjoy reading, gives them the abundance of the amount of books that we have there. The one part of it that I enjoyed most was Tom Hembright with the historic aspect of the library, and a lot of times I would see Tom because she would walk down to the store and, get a sandwich or something. And he would always bring me something that if he found any old photographs or stories of my family or the store, celebrating some anniversary or something like that, he would always, bring that to me. And, I would go over and do some research on myself when there was issues coming before the city commission that I wanted to know a little bit more about the history of it. He was always very, very helpful. So, and this library it's really been such part of the community. I mean, they have all the little, I guess it probably did before also, but I see more of it now. They have these children hours, for to get children interested in reading, and living here next to the library like I do, I see people parking all the time, walking up to the library over there to use it.
See the friendly staff at the front desk to check out a laptop. Thank you, Carly. Our self-checkout machine allows you to check out books as well as make copies and prints. We even have a holds locker so you can pick up books that you've requested from our other branches. And we have a DVD machine. In our children's library, we have tablets with educational games and resources for children.
There you go.
And we have a bike repair station, complete with an air pump. And we have our beautiful palm garden. The Key West Library is here to serve you 6 days a week. So next time you're in the area, stop on by the little pink library and don't forget your library card.